It is a super edition of the Finsiders. Greg Likens here alongside John Conjemi, OJ McDuffie, Tristan Jones, the Metro PCS Comment Center. And what a way to kick things off here. Ndamukong Suh, the man himself, newest member of the Miami Dolphins, joining us. Ndamukong, congratulations. Welcome to South Florida. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm having a blast. It's exciting to be down here. I'm excited to be a part of the team and looking forward to it.
Yes, and if you don't mind, it's been a whirlwind for all of us as we're hearing the rumors and the reports. What's the process been like for you, and how did you ultimately decide to come to Miami?
The process has been tough. I mean, there's been a lot of things that we had to get done with Jimmy and understanding what the rules are and staying true to those at the same time, doing my own homework and understanding what the teams were offering at the same time, understanding what each team had to offer to me. And at the end of the day, I feel like I made a great decision. I'm excited to be down here. There's a bunch of guys that I'm looking forward to playing next to.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next question because we're all excited to have you, but I'm guessing guys like Cam Wake, Olivier Vernon, and some of your defensive teammates are pumped up as well. How excited are you to play with those types of guys?
I'm excited to play next to those guys and play with them, opposite of them. At the same time, I see a lockdown corner and great guys like that, like Brett Grimes. So for me, it's exciting to just understand what we have at the helm right now, but at the same time, free agency is still wide open and we can make some more moves and have some more excitement.
What was the most, what was the toughest part of your decision? When you go through and you have to do a lot on your own with your agent, but when you had maybe 4 or 5 teams that you had and you're investigating on your own, what was the toughest part of that for you when you hit free agency?
Yeah, I'd probably say the toughest time is the time crunch of it all because it kind of moves pretty fast, but there's a lot of details, a lot of things you got to get done. And really researching each and every last one of those teams is probably the biggest piece. But I've got great people in my family, my close friends that I trust in, that I know aren't going to leak anything out. And so for me, it was definitely exciting to go through that process. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now, I definitely enjoyed it and looking forward to it continuing.
And Ndamukong, were you surprised that you became a free agent? We're sitting there talking. It's like there's no way this man will ever be a free agent. Nobody in the world would ever let this man hit the market. And we're so blessed as Miami Dolphins fans, and I'm a huge fan as a former player. Mm-hmm. But to have you in our building, it's like it's hard for us to imagine that you even hit the free agency market and we were able to get you.
It was a little surprising, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and I understand teams need to make their business decisions. And at the same time, I got to do what's best for myself as well as my family, because that's most important to me is making sure I take care of them, especially being in a position that I can do that. And so I'm excited. I mean, I have no hard feelings, and I'm more excited about where I'm at right now and where my career can end and really just start and really just – it's going to blossom, and I can see that here in with the bright future here in the Sunshine State. And,
yeah, that's where I want to go. What was the weather like when you left Detroit and when you got here? So we're in the mid-80s right now.
Yeah,
How about that?
I was not happy with those negative degrees. It's nice it feels good on the body to have that sun hit it, and I can get a nice little tan, like a little golden bronze feel. So I'm looking forward to it year round.
Speaking for all Dolphin fans, especially for us on the Finsiders, over the last week, we've had to watch highlights of you in a Detroit Lion uniform making all kind of tackles against the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
So we're actually waiting for to flip the switch a little bit. And on the other side, doing your investigating and going through the teams, you had to be happy when you looked and saw a guy like Cam Wake, and a guy like Brent Grimes behind him, and guys along, Mike Pouncey on the other side, Ryan Tannehill. How much of a factor, when you look at teams, do those types of players maybe weigh your decision?
No question they have some influence on my decision. Being able to, like you said, those guys are great players. One, being able to go against them gave me a great feel last year, especially with the quarterback. Ultimate respect for him. He took some hits from me as well as some other players on our team in Detroit last year and got up and was ready to go. And I love a quarterback like that. And he's young, and that's really exciting to see that. And there's a lot of hope and will that I see that this team has. And there's been trials and tribulations here, and they've just continued to press on and move forward. And that's just understood how my life has been. And I look forward to taking part. And hopefully we don't have as many trials and have a lot of tribulations.
Ndamukong Suh, newest member of the Miami Dolphins, 4-time All-Pro defensive tackle, joining us here on the Finsiders. Now, I hesitate to ask you this because we're in person here, but you have been voted the most feared player in the National Football League. I can speak just in being around you for a few short minutes here. You've been very gracious, very friendly, but do you take pride in having that label on you?
I don't know if it's necessarily pride, excuse me. It's more of an understanding guys that they respect me. I don't necessarily look at it as fear. by any means. We're all grown men. We all understand what we do between the lines, and we have fun with it. But at the same time, you have ultimate respect for what guys do against that you go against, that are next to you, and so I definitely take it as a compliment more or less than anything.
Well, you've talked about how your family's been such a big part of the process. Got to meet your dad and your mom here. They're very proud of you. As the story goes, as you were a freshman in high school, you weren't allowed to play football because your mom wanted to make sure you got good enough grades. So then you did play your sophomore year. But that's an example of kind of the way you brought up. Tell us about kind of your upbringing and how that made you the person you are today.
Yeah, both my parents being from third world countries and very strong, humbling backgrounds, they pushed me in education. That's something that you never can take away from a young man or a young woman, and I've always understood that. My dad being an engineer, my mom being a school teacher, both have their degrees, and I wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps, and I got my engineering degree. Didn't want to kind of go for the sociology or communication. Not saying there's anything wrong with those, but that was my passion, and that's what I look forward to doing after I get done playing ball. But you referred to the time my mom didn't let me play freshman football. Yes, I was very upset, but mom wins all the time, so she's going to continue to win, and I got the grades, so she let me go out the following years. And it wasn't just about maintaining or getting him that first year. It was about maintaining him through and getting better. And that's something that just was instilled with me at all times, to continue to get better and better and better each and every year.
Dominic, we know about your greatness on the football field, but what I've been more impressed with is hearing all the things off the field, what type of teammate you are, the way you work on and off the field, the way you give back, the way you gave back to Nebraska. That's stuff that, people in Miami and people that aren't in Detroit, we don't hear a lot about that. All we see is what's on the football field. Talk about what you like to do away from the game a little bit, other than just, when you're playing football.
When I'm away from football, I'm a very business-oriented person. At the same time, I've always understood where I've got to be successful wasn't just because of my own hard work. Yes, it had a piece into it, but my parents, like I said before, my sister, my close family and friends, and then just the community that I grew up in. So that's why a lot of the reasons why I give back, because I want to be able to pay it forward to the other kids, other people that I can see that I can help, and it makes you feel good, but it's exciting to see a kid. I do things at Nike campus all the time, working with kids, and those guys, they come back, you have your cell phone number, just shoot you a text. I went and did my engineering degree, and it's one of the best things I ever did. And I know football was tough and different things of that nature. So for me, it's always excited to be able to hear those stories and feel a part of it. And for me, that's what life is about.
Ndamukong Suh, newest member of the Miami Dolphins, four-time All-Pro defensive tackle, joining us here on the Finsiders. And Ndamukong, what you've described your style of play as blue-collar football, and that you're a quiet guy off the field, but you're as competitive as they get, and you're not going to let down on the intensity level. So for the Dolphins fans, again, I talked to you about this earlier, but who haven't seen you play without watching every Lions game, what does Ndamukong Suh bring here to the Miami Dolphins?
Intensity, passion, a guy that will to want to win every single play, and obviously translate that into wins as a team. A leader, a guy that wants to help his guys around him. I don't need to have the success and the statistics at all levels. I'd rather see my defensive ends or my defensive linemen next to me, or even my guys behind me making big plays. We don't want the running backs to touch our guys back there, but we want them to get interceptions and make big plays like that. So for me, I'm a guy that I do want to join in the fun, but at the same time, I want it to be shared all around, because it's not just about me.
And Dominic, do you feel the passion and the intensity? I know you've only been in South Florida maybe a day, and around the staff and around the ownership and the management, but do you feel the passion to win with this organization as badly as we do as fans of South Florida, of the Miami Dolphins?
No, without question. And then the biggest excitement for me, and probably the most important thing to me, is it's from the top down, and I think that's most important. And just being able to research this team and understand how they work from a front office perspective all the way down to the last person in the support staff, it's definitely exciting. Plus, you guys got some Nebraska natives.
That's right. That's right.
Some people, so you guys are making some right decisions off the bat.
Well, and Ndamukong, for all of us here on the Finsiders, welcome to the team. Welcome to South Florida.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Very exciting time, and thanks so much for being so gracious with your time here after you just signed your contract.
No problem at all. I enjoy it, and I look forward to being back on here many more times and having a lot of fun together.
From what I hear, we might have some international soccer conversations moving forward, too.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I love it.
Good. Hey, well, and Ndamukong, again, congratulations. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good talking to you guys.
There